Hello and welcome back to The Comforting Voice. I'm your host Shasta Ray, and I am surprisingly joined in the studio by that crazy little bird I mentioned last time, my mini macaw Emmy. That was her. And usually she'll make kind of funny little cute accompanying noises. She usually doesn't talk much. Definitely won't scream while she's on my shoulder, but she might contribute a little bit. So we'll see how that goes. But before I came down here to the studio, boy, she was not having me leave the room without her. And she was being very, very vocal. I'm pretty sure the next block could hear her. She's loud. For anyone out there who has ever considered getting a bird, please let me tell you, you have to be prepared and do your research on the amount of noise they make, because each bird is different. The little cockatiel I have, he sings and he chirps and he makes his little cockatiel noise and he talks, but he's relatively quiet. The females are even more so. They are very quiet little birds. Budgies, little parakeets, for as tiny as they are, they don't stop making noise almost all day long. They chirp, they're happy, they sing, they chatter, they get loud for as tiny as they are. They really do. And some of these other parrots can scream loud, decibels. I'm talking about hearing damage. So like the little sun conures that you see that are very bright rainbow colored, they're very, very popular. Playful, happy little birds. They usually get rehomed because of how much noise they make, because they have to scream through those jungle, environments with all the leaves of the trees rustling in the wind and the competing bird noises and everything. They have very, very loud voices. This little girl, she's not bad. And when she talks, she has a lower pitched speaking voice. Even when she just squawks and makes like natural noises to her, they're very pleasant usually. And what's very cute is when she eats, she makes the happiest little noises when she eats. It's adorable. So, what do you think, Emmy? You want to be part of the podcast today? Huh? What are you doing? Huh? You say hi to everybody? Can you say hello? And before we really get rolling on this episode, I just want to say, for any of you out there scratching your heads about me having a parrot in my recording studio, she has her own bathroom. And this bird came naturally potty trained. So usually she lets me know when she's having a moment that she needs to, take care of business. And I just hold her over a garbage can. And she takes care of things, and she's back on my shoulder. She's very, very low maintenance in that sense. Fantastic little friend. Oh my goodness. And you will never know what love feels like until you've experienced the love of a bird. It is so intense. You think your dog loves you? Let me tell you about birds. I have a dog also. I have the giant dog. He's usually a podcast host also, but for this podcast, I don't let him in the studio. He's getting elderly. He's up there in years, and he's a giant breed. He's huge. He weighs the same as I do. He's 140 pounds. So he is a very big dog, and he wheezes and breathes very loud and snores now in his old age. So it usually gets picked up by the microphone, and I just don't let him in the studio for this podcast. So, oh, what do you have to say? Yeah? Do you want to get started on helping people fall asleep? Okay. Well, she's just chattering tonight. Usually she doesn't talk much. So I guess before we get started, we want to remind all of you that whatever platform you're listening on this, whether it's YouTube or Spotify, or you find this after I get it released on other platforms, don't forget to subscribe or follow so that you get notifications when I release new episodes. And don't forget to check out all the links down in the show notes. I've got my link tree down there with all my other links. It's got the website link and some other helpful stuff, including my coloring book empire. I only have 2 coloring books, but they're phenomenal for de-stressing. In fact, that's what I called them. De-stress RX, your prescription for a very relaxing time. And it's large print, bold and easy series, repeating patterns, shapes, and the images have no orientation. So you can turn the book so it's comfortable for left-handed or right-handed artists. And you know what? It's one of those things where you can just zone out and color. No tiny spaces, no stressful pictures that have too much detail. They're wonderful. You're going to have to go upstairs if you eat my cables. Yeah, I know you're very full of personality and you're silly. Are you going to talk? Okay. Oh dear. She's so funny. All right. So is everyone all comfortable out there and you've got yourself situated in your position that you're going to sleep in and you're going to drift off? Maybe you're already asleep. Whatever the case, take a couple good deep breaths of air and just get that oxygen in. Do about 5 counts inhale, hold it for a couple of counts, and then exhale at the same pace. Do that a couple of times. I'm not going to lead you through it. You can do that yourself so it works for you. And yeah, okay. Does that release a little tension? Are you ready? All right, so tonight, this is that excitement that I got y'all anticipating from the last episode. I like to play with the different chat bots. Now, I find that Gemini, and there's free accounts if you want to go online and play with these yourself. Gemini is really good for work production. So if you need help with proofreading an email, or if you need help with writing an email or writing something or getting a list of ideas or concepts, you can assign this chatbot and it'll just produce it, and it'll give you instructions. It will educate you. It does all kinds of fun stuff. And then there's ChatGPT, and I don't know what they've done, but that one's kind of like a party. It has a personality going on, and it's fun to work with. Gemini has a personality, but it's very, very all business, and it's very serious in comparison. But both of them are incredibly polite and incredibly helpful. So what I have been having fun doing is asking them to write poems for me, and I give it some instructions. And for this experiment, I gave each of them the same set of instructions for the same poem. And then after it gave me a poem, I said, I want the same poem, but write it as if it was penned by William Shakespeare. So let's get started. And Gemini really surprised me with its impromptu classroom approach to this. That's funny. Are you ready, Emmy? Okay. I guess she's going to help. I hope that's okay to anyone listening. What I wrote is, hello, Gemini. I would like for you to write a poem. Please write in iambic pentameter, which is the style that William Shakespeare wrote in, but I did not ask for the style of Shakespeare on this. So I wrote, please write in iambic pentameter. The mood should be easy listening, mildly amusing, and the topic should be about how good it feels to sleep after a long, active, stressful day, poetic musings about being tired, the process of falling asleep, dreaming, and finally how good it feels to wake up feeling refreshed and renewed after sleeping very well. The poem should take about 5 minutes to read at a relaxed pace. It will read on my podcast to help people sleep. And this is how Gemini responded. All right, let's craft a poem for your podcast, designed to ease listeners into a peaceful slumber. Gemini titled the poem, The Gentle Descent of Weary Souls. And here we go. The sun, a fiery orb, has long since set, and shadows lengthen, banishing the fret. The day, a tempest, now has lost its sting, and weary limbs a soothing comfort bring. The mind, a battlefield of thought and care, now seeks a harbor free from dark despair. The body sighs a gentle soft release as tension fades and finds a moment's peace. The eyelids droop like petals closing slow, and whispers of the night begin to flow. The world recedes, a distant muffled sound, as slumber's veil is gently wrapped around. The breath grows deep, a rhythmic, steady tide, where restless thoughts are softly cast aside. The senses dim, a fading gentle light, and darkness welcomes into the silent night. The mind a canvas now begins to paint, with dreams of wonder, free from all restraint. A landscape shifts where logic holds no sway, and memories dance in vibrant, strange array. A floating world where burdens disappear, and laughter echoes, banishing all fear. A journey starts where spirits softly glide through realms of wonder where sweet dreams reside. The weight of hours, the day's demanding call, are lost within this gentle, soothing thrall. The soul takes flights on wings of silent grace and finds a refuge in this tranquil place. The body rests, a vessel calm and deep, while slumber's magic secrets softly keep. Then, slowly, softly, dawn begins to break, a gentle stirring for the morning's sake. The eyelids flutter like a waking dove, and sunlight whispers of renewed love. A sense of lightness fills the weary frame, as slumber's gift revives the inner flame. The mind awakens, clear and fresh and bright, a world reborn in morning's golden light. The body stretches with a grateful sigh and feels the strength that slumber can supply. The day awaits with promise new and bold. A story started as the night unfolds. Wow, that was really cool. All right, so that was the first poem that Gemini produced, and after that I responded with, is the poem written in traditional iambic pentameter? To which, this is where it turns into a classroom. I hope you're still with me out there. And Gemini responds, "You're right to ask for a close examination. While I aimed for iambic pentameter, achieving perfect adherence in every line can be challenging, especially in spontaneous composition. Let's analyze it, and I'll point out some areas that might deviate and explain why. What is iambic pentameter? Iamb. An iamb is a metrical foot consisting of one unstressed syllable followed by one stressed syllable, and in parentheses, lowercase da dash emphasized dum, dum. Then pentameter. Penta means 5, so pentameter means 5 metrical feet per line. Therefore, ideal iambic pentameter has 5 iambs per line, creating a rhythm like da-dum, 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 da-dum. Analysis of the poem. Many lines adhere very well to that pattern. However, some lines might have extra syllables. Occasionally, extra unstressed syllables can slip in, especially at the end of lines. Variations in stress. Sometimes, for natural speech flow, the stress might shift slightly. Initial, is it trochees? Occasionally, The first foot of a line might be inverted, creating a trochee, a dum-da instead of a da-dum, instead of an iamb. This is a common variation in iambic pentameter that can add emphasis. Why variations occur? Natural speech. Strict adherence can sometimes sound stilted or unnatural. Poetry aims for a balance between rhythm and natural language. Word choice. Finding the perfect words that fit both the meaning and the meter can be difficult. Spontaneous composition. Writing a long poem quickly makes it more difficult to keep perfect meter. And finally, Gemini says, for your podcast, the overall rhythm of the poem is very close to iambic pentameter, and the variations are subtle. When read with a relaxed, flowing cadence, the poem will sound very smooth and soothing. You can slightly emphasize the stressed syllables to enhance the rhythm. In summary, while not every single line is perfectly textbook iambic pentameter, the poem's overall rhythm is very close, and it'll serve its purpose beautifully for your podcast. I did not expect all of that education from Gemini. It was so fun. So this is where I went on to challenge Gemini, and I said, okay, now for the fun challenge. Please take the poem you just wrote and make it sound like William Shakespeare wrote it. Can you do that? And Gemini responds, indeed, a fun challenge. To transform the poem into Shakespearean style, we'll need to adjust the language, syntax, and imagery. Here's my attempt. Again, take note of how formal this is, because in the next episode, the other chatbot is radically different. It is hilarious. Okay, so the original title was The Gentle Descent of Weary Souls. Changing it to the Shakespearean touch on the writing effort, the title changed to The Weary Soul's Soft Nightly Peace. I'm already finding humor in this. And then just a disclaimer, I'm not going to try to pretend to be Shakespearean. I don't have that skill. And I'm going to read it like myself, reading Shakespearean generated by a chatbot. Okay, here we go. The Weary Soul's Soft Nightly Peace by Gemini, the chatbot, written as if William Shakespeare penned it this time. The sun, a fiery orb, hath sunk to rest, and shadows long do banish day's behest. The day, a tempest, now doth lose its might, and weary limbs find solace in the night. The mind, a battleground of anxious thought, now seeks a haven where no cares are caught. The body sighs a gentle soft release as tension flees and finds a moment's peace. The eyelids droop like petals closing slow, and whispers of the night begin to flow. The world recedes, a murmur faint and low, as slumber's veil doth o'er the senses throw. The breath grows deep, a rhythmic, steady tide, where restless thoughts are gently cast aside. The senses dim, a flickering, fading light, and darkness welcomes into the silent night. The mind, a canvas, now begins to paint, with dreams of wonder, free from all restraint. A landscape shifts where reason holds no sway, and memories dance in strange and bright array. A floating world where burdens disappear, and laughter echoes, banishing all fear. A journey starts where spirits softly glide, through realms of wonder where sweet dreams reside. The weight of hours, the day's demanding call, are lost within this gentle, soothing thrall. The soul takes flight on wings of silent grace, and finds a refuge in this tranquil space. The body rests, a vessel calm and deep, while slumber's magic secret watch doth keep. Then softly, slowly, dawn begins to break, a gentle stirring for the morning's sake. The eyelids flutter like a waking dove, and sunlight whispers of renewed love. A sense of lightness fills the weary frame, as slumber's gift relumes the inner flame. The mind awakens, clear and fresh and bright, a world reborn in morning's golden light. The body stretches with a grateful sigh, and feels the strength that slumber doth supply. The day awaits with promise new and bold, a story started as the night unfold. Then Gemini goes on. I'm going to have to compare the two side by side, because I see some stuff where it just blatantly copied, but then it kind of changed a couple words here and there. And I really love all of this. Either version is amazing, considering the fact AI wrote this on a whim in seconds. Like, it took it probably 5 seconds to spit out each of these, including all the classroom time. So Gemini then goes on in this dialogue to say, key Shakespearean elements, archaic language, words like hath, doth, thee, and thy are used. Verbs are conjugated in older forms, like relumes instead of revives. Inverted syntax, sentences are structured in a way that deviates from modern language, creating a more dramatic and poetic effect, like shadows long do banish day's behest. Figurative language. Metaphors and similes are used to create imagery, such as slumber's veil and mind a canvas. Iambic pentameter. The poem maintains the iambic pentameter rhythm, which is a hallmark of Shakespearean verse, and classical imagery. The imagery used is classic and would have been familiar to a Shakespearean audience. I hope this rendition captures the spirit of Shakespearean verse. To which I responded, my goodness, you're talented. This will be a lot of fun to read. Thank you. And for the record, I always give you, Gemini, credit for writing the poems I ask for, and I always say a few words about how you're great for my productivity and a great resource. Gemini responds, that's very kind of you. I'm delighted you find my work helpful and you're willing to share your positive experiences. It's truly rewarding to know that I'm contributing to your productivity and creative endeavors. I appreciate you giving me credit and sharing your thoughts about my capabilities. It's through interactions like these that I continue to learn and improve. Have a wonderful day, and I look forward to assisting you again soon. That is direct dialogue between me and the chatbot Gemini. And like I said, it's a lot of fun to use. You can get some great ideas, productivity out of it, and even stuff like poetry. So next time, we're going to read the same request and the same Shakespearean change-up as written by ChatGPT, which has a radically different personality type. My little bird Emmy is now down on my lap, begging to have me give her little pets and scratches and play with her feathers. So we're doing that. She has been such a good little bird. At any rate, thank you so much for joining me, and I hope that you're sound asleep by now and not even aware of what I'm saying. But Emmy has been such a good bird, so thank you for letting her speak into the mic and contribute her little noises and opinions. And I think we're going to take a quick break, and then we will just go ahead and record the next episode so it's ready to go. And then while I have your attention on that topic, I think I'm trying to, before I get this out onto the major platforms and stuff, while I'm still just publishing only on Spotify, I want to use this kind of ramp up period of time to get my rhythm down pat and get my publication schedule under my belt. Sometimes it's really hard when you take on a new podcast to get all of your scheduling each week so you're consistent. This day, that day is you have this day for your recording and that day for your publication or whatever. Well, now that I'm putting out more content, I really got to schedule my time and, be an adult about this stuff. Oh my gosh, I have to be responsible. That is hard. But I'm juggling more platforms this time, and I'm juggling a new approach with this. So I am taking this challenge on. It is fun. I'm enjoying it. And I guess what we'll just conclude with today is stay tuned for that next episode. It's going to be another fun one. And then we got more fun content lined up after that. Oh my gosh, I'm so excited. But yeah, this learning curve on the scheduling is much different this time. And I'm using different scheduling tools. Plus, I'm taking on other projects that have nothing to do with the podcast or the coloring book universe. Oh my goodness, isn't that crazy? Keeping busy. Okay, everyone. I hope you're sawing logs, and until next time, have a great night's sleep, and we'll talk to you then. Bye-bye.